Are we recording? Yes, we are recording. So hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Juan Soares Martins. I am a young scientist, a young inventor, but most of all, I'm a maker from Brazil. And today I'm start presenting, I'm start showing for you guys all the process of building a homemade low-cost 3D printer. So if that's what you want to see, come with me and let's get it started. Yes, you're right. A homemade, low-cost 3D printer. This project's made in partnership with high abilities and gifted students, not professors, but a classroom of high ability and gifted students from Paranoá, which is a neighborhood in Brasília Federal District in Brazil, where I am based right now. So the 3D printer is actually what I am trying to do with the students is to reduce the cost for at least 50%, which is a big challenge for us due to the complexity to build a 3D printer. Therefore, I started searching on the internet how we could do it, how we could afford it, and how we could make it very accessible for the community. Therefore, I started by thinking what materials we could use, and we decided to start using wood because of the low price and the accessibility that we had to this kind of materials. And based on some projects, based on my experience with 3D printers, with 3D modeling, I started to think in a design that we could use to build this low-cost 3D printer in the most simple way to provide for other people the opportunity to also build their own homemade 3D printers with the low cost that I'm proposing right here. So let's go to my screen. I want to show you what I had designed for this project. Okay, and just remember, this is the video number zero. So the idea here is for me to present for you guys my project, and this video is also in Portuguese. It is with subtitles in Portuguese actually, because I am expressing myself in English, because I think that's the great way to share this knowledge, not just in Brazil but all around the world. But if you prefer to use the subtitles in Portuguese, feel free. They are right here. You just need to click on the button. Okay, so come to my screen and let's see what I have to show you. Okay, so come with me. So yes, as you can see, I started by designing the prototyping the Tinkercad, which is a very interesting tool and I really love to use, mainly when I'm just trying to think how I could make something. And it's very interesting because you don't need to download any kind of app, you can do everything online. So it's very interesting, very simple actually, so you can use it to prototype before buying the materials to see how the final project is going to be like. So here, as you can see, I started by modeling this 3D printer. Is based in a very famous model. It's the Ender 3D printer, I guess, yeah. And based on my experience with other 3D printers that I could see while I was younger and while I was starting in this world, and yeah. So as you can see here, we have all the structure made with wood, right? So here we are using this design. We have here a design with 50 centimeters of length, and here we have 45 centimeters, and of height we have here 43 centimeters, right? So this the dimensions, and the idea here is for us to have a table of printing here of 20 by 20 centimeters. So, all right, so 400 centimeters squares of printing area possible in this project, right? So yeah, here we are using four step motors, but the idea is for us to use 5, one for the extruder that is going to be right here. All the electronic part of the device is on this side with the computer ATX power supply that we're going to use to reduce the costs. And here we have the motherboard, which in our case is going to be an Arduino with the ramps shield. But we are going to have a video, I hope to record this video as soon as possible, explaining a little bit more about this this electronic part and all the configuration, all the firmware that we are going to use, right? So yeah, here we are going to have also in this red plastic, probably this is going to be plastic. I didn't decide which material I'm going to use right here, but we are going to have one hot end, which is one of the most expensive parts of this 3D printer. Discarding the step motors that I'm going to try to use recycled step motors that I could find in broken printers and so many other places, right, to try to reduce our costs and build a reliable 3D printer. So yeah, here we have these bars, which are trapezoidal risk bars to make the z-axis go up and down, so the hot end go up and down. Here I think we are going to have a maximum height of impression of printing of something like 20 to 30 centimeters, right? I needed to do the calculation of this part yet, and yeah. So let me see what else I can show you for you. Oh, of course, the idea is for the filament to be here in the top, because based on my experience, it is easier for us to have this filament, all the filament here, because of this extruder, and we are not going to have any kind of issue related to that. Okay, so that's why this is here. Now, speaking about the firmware, based on also on the experience that I had with other 3D printers and making a deep search on the internet, I could find a very interesting open source project. And by the way, I really love open source development, open source hardware, open source software, and you can take a look on that on my GitHub. Just access the link below and take a look on some of the projects that I've been currently working on. All right, so now speaking about the firmware that we're going to use for this project, I'm going to use Merlin software, Merlin firmware, which is an open source software to control 3D printers, open source 3D printers, which is what I'm trying to do right here. After I finish the project, I'm recording these videos to have a material to provide support for people who want to build again this device, this 3D printer that I'm building. And Merlin is an amazing project that provides the full firmware needed for the 3D printer for free. Also, it's one of the greatest codes that I could see already in this kind of field of firmware for the 3D printers. If you want to use LCD, you can. You just need to uncomment one line to do it. If you don't want to use it, it's okay. You just need to comment all the configuration you can do inside of Merlin. So that's why we are going to use the Merlin software, because it's one of the because it is the code that we can modify, we can change based on the shape of our 3D printer. We can change based on the step motors that we are using, so it's very customizable, if this word exists. All right, so yeah, that's the 3D printer that I started to build. I already have all the wood, I already have all the mechanical parts, and I'm just recording this video one day before I start to mounting everything together. About the price, I want to have a special video just explain all the finances of the project, but I can totally say for you that we are going to save at least 40 to 50% of a commercial 3D printer, and all that you need to do is to adventure yourself and challenge yourself actually to build something new, right? So I hope that you enjoyed this first video. That's the video number 0 of the homemade low-cost 3D printer. I need to think about a name for this project, but yeah, let's see what we can do by the next weeks, and I hope to be back soon to explain a little bit more about it in an overall position. Alright, so if you like the video, if you like the project, please give your like. This really helps me a lot. And if you have any suggestions, anything that you could see that there was a doubt for you, please comment below. I'm here to really help you to build this project as I am doing right now. Okay, so that's it for today, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye bye. Whoa.